Hello students, today we are going to discuss lecture 6 of chapter 5, the fundamental unit of life, cell. In the previous lecture we have discussed about the nucleolus and its function. In today's lecture we are going to start with the chromatin material, that is the other component embedded in the nucleus. So what is chromatin material? As you can see the structure of the nucleus. Here these thread-like structure present inside the nucleus is known as chromatin material. So what is chromatin material? The chromatin material is thin thread-like intervening mass of chromosome material. Means what are chromatin? Chromatin is a thread-like intervening mass of chromosome which is further composed of genetic substance like DNA and histones. Means chromatin material is a thread-like intervening mass of chromosome, and these chromosomes are further composed of genetic substances like DNA and proteins. When the cell is about to divide, means when there is division of cell, the chromatin material will get organized into chromosome. Means this chromatin material will condense to form the chromosome only during the division of cell. Otherwise, if there is no division of cell, the material present in the nucleus will be in the form of the chromatin material, and when the cell division will take place, this chromatin material will get changed into chromosomes. And it is very clear from this that chromosome will be visible only during the cell division. Otherwise, these chromosomes will be present in the nucleus in the form of the chromatin material. So, what is chromatin material? It is just a thread-like intervening mass of chromosomes. Means it is present over there in the form of threads intervened together. But when the cell division will take place, this chromatin material will condense to form chromosomes, and chromosomes are only visible during the cell divisions. So what are chromosomes? Chromosomes are thread-like structure usually present in the nucleus that become visible only during cell division. And chromosomes are composed of, means chromosomes are made up of DNA molecules, that is deoxyribonucleic acid, and proteins, histones. Fine. Basically, this chromatin material is formed of repeating subunit, the nucleosome, each of which has a DNA molecule coiled around the histones. So let's see further. What are the function of chromosome? Look students, chromosome consists of DNA and DNA consists of genes, which is responsible for the transfer of characters from parents to next generation. Some of people usually say na he's having some characters like his parents, he has looks like his parents, like his mother, like his father. How they are transferred from mother and father, you can say from parents to offspring, that is due to the DNA. The chromosomes contain information for inheritance of character from parents to next generation in the form of DNA molecules. DNA molecules contain the information necessary for constructing and organizing the cells. Functional segment of DNA means what that functional segment of DNA which perform this function is genes. Fine. So I am repeating it again. Chromatin material is a intervened mass of chromosomes which gets condensed, which gets changed into, or you can say condensed into chromosome during the cell division. Chromosomes are composed of DNA molecules and histones, and chromosomes are responsible for the inheritance of characters from parents to next generation in the form of DNA molecules, and the functional segment of DNA molecules are called genes. Fine. Here is the general structure of the chromosome, and it is visible only during the cell division. Most chromosomes consist of two arms. You can see here two arms that extend out from a specialized region of DNA called the centromere. This joining at the center is known as centromere, or it is also known as primary constriction. Centromere or primary constriction gives a particular shape to chromosome due to its position. Fine. The chromosome extremities or terminal region on either side are called telomeres. Fine. Let's proceed further. Now, what are the functions of nucleus? The nucleus is known as the brain of the cell. Why? Because the nucleus control all the metabolic activities of the cell. If somehow nucleus is removed from a cell, the protoplasm ultimately dries up and it dies. So nucleus is very important for the proper functioning of the cell, as it controls all the metabolic activities of the cell. It is also responsible for the transmission of hereditary traits from the parents to offspring, because nucleus consists of chromosomes which are composed of DNA, responsible for the transference of character from the parents to the offsprings. Nucleus plays a central role in cellular reproduction. Cellular reproduction means division of cell to form two new cell, and this process of reproduction in which a single cell divides and forms two new cells is also controlled by the nucleus. Fine. Let's learn some interesting facts about the cells which lack the nucleus. So, do you know, or have you ever encountered any cell which do not have nucleus or which lack nucleus? Yes, there are some cells which lack nucleus, like red blood cells. You know, red blood cells are present in our blood, and they consist of hemoglobin, which is a carrier of oxygen and carbon dioxide throughout the body. So the basic function of red blood cell is to transport oxygen and carbon dioxide throughout the cell, and for this function red blood cell consists of a red pigment, that is hemoglobin. To accommodate more and more hemoglobin inside their cell, they usually lose their nuclei so that they can have more and more of hemoglobin in them, and they can easily transport the oxygen throughout the body. So red blood cells usually lose their nuclei so that this enable them to carry more and more hemoglobin, which is a carrier of oxygen in the blood. And the other part is phloem tubes. Beta, phloem tubes are like drainage pipes present in the plant. As you already know, that leaf is known as the kitchen of the cell because it prepares food by the process of photosynthesis. Now this food is to be transported throughout the plant, and it is done with the help of the phloem tubes. And the main function of the phloem tube in the plant is transportation of food from leaves to all the parts of the plant. So to do this work or to transport material in an effective way, they usually lose their other organelles as well as nuclei, so that they have so much of space inside the cell so that they can easily transport food throughout the plant. Fine. So phloem tubes are the tubes which are present in the plant, which helps in the transportation of food from leaves to all the parts of the plants, and these phloem tube lost most of their cell organelles including their nuclei so that they can easily transport material throughout the plants. Fine. Let's proceed further. Very important, mitochondria. As you are already well versed with this thing, that mitochondria are known as the powerhouses of the cell, and in this topic you will be knowing why they are called so, why they are called as powerhouses of the cell. First of all, we will discuss its structure. Mitochondria have two membrane covering. The outer membrane is porous and the inner membrane is deeply folded. These folds are called cristae and increase surface area for ATP generating chemical reactions. You can see here, this is the general structure of mitochondria. This is the outer membrane of the mitochondria, and this folded one is the inner membrane of the mitochondria. These folds are called cristae. These folds are known as cristae junctions. Why the inner membrane of the mitochondria is folded so as to increase the surface area, so that the surface area inside the mitochondria is more to generate ATP molecules. So first of all, what are ATP molecules? Let me give you an example. Whenever you go somewhere to buy something, you use money in the form of paise or rupees. Fine. Likewise, in our body, whenever we want to perform any function like breathing, respiration, movement, locomotion, anything, we need energy na. That energy is produced by the mitochondria in the form of ATP molecules. You can say ATP molecule is the energy currency of our body, which we use to perform various functions, and these ATP molecules are produced by the mitochondria itself. I am repeating it again. Whenever we want to do any work, any physical activity, we need energy, and that energy we get from the ATP molecules, which are generated by the mitochondria. Like I have given you example, when you want to buy something, you have to give money na. So money is the currency that you use to buy something. Likewise, whenever you want to perform any physical activity or any activity of the body, you need energy, and that energy currency of the body is ATP molecules, which you use to do any work, and these ATP molecules are generated by mitochondria. That is why they are known as the powerhouse of the cell. Fine. Now you will be clear with this line. The inner membrane is deeply folded, and these folds are called cristae and increase the surface area for ATP generating chemical reaction. Means inside this inner membrane, which have folds known as cristae, the ATP generating chemical reactions takes place, so that ATP could be produced, which is used by our body for various activities. Further, let's see, this inner surface of the, or you can say, is filled with a fluid known as matrix. Fine. And this is the intermembrane space, means the space present between the outer membrane and the inner membrane. You will be surprised to know that mitochondria also consist of DNA molecules. Earlier, you already know that DNA molecules were present only in the nucleus, but there is one more organelle that consists of DNA molecules, that is mitochondria. Means mitochondria also consist of DNA molecules and ribosomes, so they also prepare some proteins required for its functioning, and these, you can see small beads like protruding over here na. These are F0 F1 complexes, or you can say oxysomes, which are the site for this process of ATP generation. Fine. Let's proceed further. The inner cavity of mitochondria is filled with a proteinaceous matrix, which contains ribosome and circular DNA molecules. Means this fluid present inside the inner membrane is matrix. Fine. Cristae are studded with small rounded bodies known as oxysomes. Here you can see na, these are oxysomes, or they are also known as F0 F1 complexes. Fine. And you have to draw this diagram as well in your copy. It's important. And mitochondria are regarded as semi-autonomous organelle, as they are able to make some of their proteins. Why we this is a new term for you, semi-autonomous organelle. Why? Because they consist of DNA, so they can replicate themselves. Means they can divide from one to many, and other thing is they are able to make some of their proteins because they consist of ribosomes and DNA. Due to the presence of DNA and ribosome, they can self-replicate themselves. That is, they have power to divide, and they also produce some of their proteins. Mitochondria are absent in bacteria and red blood cells of the mammals. Means these are the, you can say these are the organisms or these are the cells where mitochondria are absent. Let's proceed further. Now, what is the function of mitochondria? And this is very, very important. Mitochondria are sites of cellular respiration. What is respiration? Already you know that we eat food and that food get digested in our stomach and absorbed in the small intestine. From the small intestine, that food is transported to all the cells of the body by blood. Now cells consist of that food, and now that food needed to be broken down so that energy in the form of ATP could be liberated. So what is respiration? Respiration is the breakdown of the food by the oxygen, or you can say oxidation of the food to produce carbon dioxide, water vapor and energy in the form of ATP molecules. I am repeating it again. Mitochondria is a site of cellular respiration. Respiration means breakdown of food by oxidation of food, that is when food reacts with the oxygen to produce carbon dioxide, water vapor and energy molecules in the form of ATP. Fine, which is also known as the energy currency of the cell. And this cellular respiration takes place inside the mitochondria. What happens? Mitochondria use oxygen from air to oxidize the carbohydrates and fats present in the cell to form carbon dioxide, water and energy in the form of ATP molecules. Since the mitochondria produces energy rich compound, that is ATP. I have already told you what is ATP. That is adenosine triphosphate. They are known as powerhouse of the cell. Just because mitochondria is able to produce ATP molecules, that is why it is known as the powerhouse of the cell. The energy required for various chemical activities needed for life is released by the mitochondria in the form of ATP molecules. And ATP is generally known as the energy carrier or energy currency of the cell. Fine. Let's proceed further. The next topic is plastids. Plastids, as you already know, are only present in the plant cells. They are absent in animal cells. Like the mitochondria, plastids also have their own DNA and ribosomes. So they are just self-replicating, means they can divide. They have the power to divide just like the mitochondria. Fine, you must be clear with this. I am repeating it again. Plastids are only present in plant cells, and they also consist of DNA and ribosomes. They are self-replicating organelles like the mitochondria, that is they have the power to divide. And plastids are of three types: chloroplast, chromoplast and leucoplast. We will discuss each and everything in detail. First of all, chloroplast. Chloroplasts are green colored plastids present in green algae and higher plants. Why they are green in color? Because they have a green pigment called chlorophyll and they are involved in the process of photosynthesis. That is why chloroplasts are called the kitchen of the cell, because they consist of chlorophyll, which is helpful in the synthesis of food by the process of photosynthesis. Now this is the structure of chloroplast. This is the outer membrane. This is the inner membrane, and this is the space between. This is the outer membrane. This is the inner membrane. This is the inner membrane, and this is the intermembrane space. That is space between the outer membrane and the inner membrane. Fine. Now let's proceed further. Here you can see these sac-like things. Basically these are these single entities. If you take it singly, they are known as thylakoid. This is known as thylakoids. When thylakoids are stacked to one another, they are collectively known as granum. I am repeating it again. You can see here sac-like or disc-like entity. This is thylakoid, and when these thylakoids join together, They are known as granum or grana. Grana are stalks of membrane-bound flat thylakoids containing the molecules of chlorophyll. They are main functional unit of chlorophyll. Means these grana are the main functions of the, they are the main functional units of chloroplast. And the fluid present here is known as stroma. So what is stroma? Stroma is the homogeneous matrix in which grana are embedded. This is the, you can say, fluid in which these granas are embedded. Stroma also contain a variety of photosynthetic enzymes, starch grains, DNA and ribosomes. Fine, clear? You have to draw this diagram as well, and you don't need any deep knowledge about it. You just have to go through its structure. Fine. These single disc-like entity is known as thylakoid. When the thylakoids are joined together, they form granum, and this granum is embedded in the stroma. Clear? Now next, chromoplast. Chromoplasts are colored plastids which contain carotenoid pigments like carotene and xanthophylls. What is the function of chromoplasts? They impart colors to flowers to attract insects for pollination, and they also impart colors to fruits and leaves also. And the best example is, you can see carrot. You can see it is orange or red in color, orangish red in color. That is because of presence of chromoplasts are the colored plastids which basically impart colors to various parts of the plants. Why? Because they contain carotenoid pigments like carotene and xanthophylls. And what is leucoplast? Leucoplasts are colorless plastid. Leucoplast in the form of carbohydrate, fats and proteins. Fine. So what is the difference between mitochondria and chloroplast? They are in the cells of aerobic organism like plants and animals. They occur in the cells of green photosynthetic parts of the plant. They are colorless. They are green in color. The shape is rod-like or sausage shape. They are generally disc-like in outline. They liberate energy in the form of ATP molecules. And what is the function of chloroplast? They trap solar energy and use it in the process of photosynthesis. They perform oxidation of food, means oxygen reacts with the food to produce carbon dioxide, water vapor and energy, and they synthesize food by the process of photosynthesis. Now you must be clear with this. In the next lecture we will be discussing about the other organelles. Thank you so much.